Alright, welcome to a new series I'm starting called Get Good at PHP, and it's going to be just me trying to get better at PHP and my journey. Hopefully I'll teach you guys something along the way. So in this video what we're going to do is set up the environment, and I'm using something called XAMPP, as you can see. Right here it is. I'll have links to it down below so that you're able to install it. And if you have any questions, I can create a video showing how to get it set up. So, first thing we're going to do is actually not in XAMPP. What we want to do is open up our folder, and I'm using Windows, so that's pretty important. So you're going to want to get into your hosts, which are in C, Windows, System32, drivers, etc. There we go. And just before we actually do this, because you'll probably get an error if you try to change your host file, you have to right click, go to properties and security, and then click on administrator and edit it, and then you can just give yourself or you can click on administrator and then you'll give yourself all the permission. So once we do that to the host file, then go to notepad, and we're going to, you'll see 127.0.0.1 in there already. So we're just going to add to this. We're going to add, so this will be the name of the domain, like our, I'm putting domain in quotes right now, but you can't see it. Our personal domain, because this is all local to just our computer. Nobody else will be able to see this. So the site I'm working on is just going to be called just a conspiracy excuse me .com. I hope I spelled that right. Just a conspiracy. And we're going to do it again because one will be just a conspiracy.com. Try to say that 5 times fast. The other one will be www. Another thing I like to do is I like to just copy paste, so then if I screw up one time, then I just only screw up one time. Alright, so we can close this. We're going to close this, and then next thing we're going to do is go into our config on our XAMPP console and go to browse Apache. Now we're in the Apache directory. We're going to go to config extra, and we're going to double click on, where are you? vhosts, httpd-vhosts. Maximize this here. Alright, so this is our virtual host configuration file. And let me steal one of these here. So what this is, let me change all this and I'll explain what I'm doing. Alright, so server name is just conspiracy.com. Server alias is justconspiracy.com and www.justconspiracy.com, and then directory root is cxamp htdocs justconspiracy.com/public. So I might have to put this after that, but we're gonna see. So, what virtual hosts are is it's a way that you can have multiple domains locally or on the web without having more than one server. So normally what you would do is like you'd have one server with a domain name, right? So one server and then domain name would be like example.com. Then you'd have another server and then the domain name would be basic.com, so on and so forth. It's not very cost efficient if you're doing this like out in the real world, and it's also a hassle because you'd have to set up each server. So this is a way that you can have multiple domains hooked up to one server, and it's pretty common. So I do it for like my local projects and also for like my clients. So I'm gonna save this here. So we have to also remember that this document right here is very important. So whenever we have our site, it's going to look for this name, this directory or folder, whatever you want to call it. And if it doesn't see it, then it's not going to work. So we saved it. I'm going to save it again just to be on the safe side. I'm going to minimize, actually I'll just close it. Now what we're going to do is go into our actual htdocs, which is where we will create our directory, just directory, just a conspiracy.com. This is the exact same thing I called it in the vhosts. So now we have to create our public folder. If we don't create a public folder, it's not going to find the file because we're telling it to look inside of public, and I'll tell you why in a second. It's a mystery. Now we're going to create just a test file to make sure that our server is actually working correctly. Let's see here. Alright, this is fine. So we're just going to call this well, we're going to create a PHP file first. We're just going to do an echo hello. Exclamation mark. Oh, I'm going to close it. There we go. So now, get rid of that. Now we're going to see if this is working. Actually, first, we have to restart our Apache server. Or not our Apache server, sorry. Our XAMPP server. So I'm gonna, you just stop it and then restart it and you're fine. It just happened, but whatever. Alright, there you go. Now if we go to just a conspiracy.com, there you go. It's working. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So now I'll explain why we have a public folder. So here's how, I'm also just going to do this too while I'm at it. So here's how I set up my web projects. So there's always a public folder, and that's where all the web files go. So images, JavaScript, the actual HTML and CSS, as well as, you know, some PHP and whatnot. So then we have classes. So this is one thing I'll be learning while I'm doing this project. If you have any tips, please let me know. This is classes. This is for object-oriented programming, which is what I really am kind of doing this for. And then we also are going to create another folder, which won't be used because I don't have SSL for this because it's local. But if I decide to publish this live, then I'll have an SSL certificate, SSL cert for it. And then the other thing I always have is a config. This is our configuration folder. So this will have the database information as well as the actual configuration of the site. It makes things a lot easier. XAMPP, it's a little more difficult to do the configuration stuff, but there's kind of a workaround that you can do that I'll show you. So yeah, and then inside public we'll have our includes directory. So this is where you have all your include files. So like, let's say you create your site and you have a footer. What you do, instead of putting the footer on each page, so like on contact and about me and all that, what you do is you create a footer.php file and you use that to put on each page. So you don't have to, so like if you make a change on your footer, excuse me, it will change on every single page without doing it one by one. It'll make more sense when I actually do it. And let's see what else I have. Oh, I usually have CSS, and I have JavaScript, and I have images. Which normally what I would do is I would host my images on a Bitbucket, not Bitbucket, excuse me, on an S3 bucket. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So stay tuned for further videos, and appreciate you guys watching and subscribing and liking the comment. Like comments too. If somebody comments on it, like it. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know maybe what you want to see, or if you have any ideas. And I'll actually talk about the project in the next video. Goodbye.